much for being here. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and if you do, leave a like, and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, if there's anything you'd like to see from me, let me know in the comments, and also let me know in the comments if your opinions differ to mine about these stories, because I'm very interested to know. But let's just get right into it. As always, the links to the original posts and the names of the posters will be in the description. So the first one is by inspired_owl, and it is titled, "Am I the a-hole for lying to my friend and colleague so I wouldn't have to cover a shift for her?" I, 18 female, and X, 19 female, work together at a cafe. She messaged me yesterday asking if I could cover her shift tomorrow because she has an appointment for her eye where she'll have drops put in, so she needs the day off. I have been extremely burnt out recently, and with my antidepressants starting to work, I want to treat myself to getting a bus to the city to get McDonald's and watch the Minecraft movie rather than bed rotting. I would have 100% covered her shift if I was asked in advance, but I was at the point where the only thing keeping me going was knowing I had a treat planned and I'd bought the ticket for the cinema already. I needed more than 24 hours notice. I was going to tell her that I had plans and have bought a non-refundable ticket, but after I said I couldn't cover her shift, she replied with, "But babe, I need the day off." So I told her I had a doctor's appointment and that I was seeing my godmother before she goes back to work next week. I felt as though going to the cinema wasn't a good enough reason to not cover for her. I feel bad now. She's had the appointment now, so she must have found cover, but I feel shitty for being selfish and putting my wants before her needs. Am I the a-hole? In my opinion, no. Like you said, you had already bought the ticket, non-refundable and stuff. And even if you hadn't, she obviously had this appointment planned for a little while, because you don't usually get a doctor's appointment or whatever for like the next day. At least not where I'm from. So if she needed it covering, she could have asked you way in advance or asked someone else. You know, she had plenty of opportunity, I presume, to get that sorted. So that is entirely on her, not the a-hole. Okay, this next one is by T. Brownie, and it is titled, "Am I the a-hole for kicking my house guests out 11 hours before their flight is scheduled to leave?" My friend and his wife have made plans to visit us this summer for a weekend stay. The flight is 2 hours, so not really a long journey for them. We have our home professionally cleaned regularly and go all in to be good hosts to our guests. However, with any good thing, some people try to take advantage. I usually will take an extra day from work after guests leave to get rest or even tidy up the house a bit. It's just a peaceful time for me to return to the normalcy of our household after being in host mode. Before my friend booked his flight, my husband let it slip that I will not be working the Monday after my friends stay with us. Next thing I know, my friend tells me that they will be flying out on a red-eye the Monday I took off for rest. This means they will arrive early Friday morning and leave late Monday night. To that, I responded that I will be taking them to the airport as early as 8 a.m. Monday morning, so I can have my day off and rest like I planned. My friend tells me that he doesn't understand why can't they just hang out at our place, or have us show them around the town more on that Monday since they have a late flight. I explained to them that the day off is for me to rest, not to continue being their host. I told them that they are more than welcome to leave their luggage here if they want to go explore on their own, but we will not be hosting them or playing tour guide after Monday morning. He goes on to admit that it was cheaper for him to book the later flight on Monday, and that it's not a big deal for him and his wife to just hang out at my house all day until it's time for them to fly out. Keep in mind that I will have to take them to the airport or pay for rideshare because he refuses to pay. I will also have to feed them. I told him that they are welcome to visit and stay with us, but staying at our house all day on Monday is not an option and he needs to make other arrangements. He's now accusing me of being a horrible friend and his wife says we're a-holes. Your thoughts? What do you guys think on that? In my opinion, they are not the a-hole. They are doing more than enough for, allowing their friends to stay over for a long weekend and hosting them that entire time. Like, hosting someone it's very tiring work for a lot of people. It would be tiring work for me because my social battery gets drained so quickly. And the guests are not entitled to more of their friends' time or house. Like, they have been more than hospitable enough. I don't think they should have tried to argue the fact that it's not a big deal, because they are just overstaying their welcome at that point. If I was staying with my friend and she told me that she would prefer I leave the day before or that morning because she usually takes that time to rest, I would more than understand and I would make other arrangements. Even if I had to pay out of pocket for like a hotel for the day to chill in, like, that would be on me for, not double checking that it's okay to stay that long. So yeah, definitely not the a-hole, especially because the OP said that they would have to take them to the airport late that night when they have work the next morning, and they would have to feed them or pay a rideshare like that. That is going like above and beyond. Like, you've done more than enough as a host, and they shouldn't expect that much of you. Okay. This next one is by not_your_shimmer, and it's titled, "Am I the a-hole for backing out of a party/get-together after finding out my friends are planning on buying a lot of the food I cannot eat?" First off, English is not my first language, so forgive my mistakes, if any. Long story short, I have a friend, let's call her H, who proposed we get together. I was down and started saving up for money to contribute. She told me we'd be 12 girls in total. Most are her friends I've met before but were not close. But I was fine with it since I was looking forward to making new friends. Days later, we agreed on an amount to contribute per person. We also agreed that after everyone contributes, we will make a budget together, keeping in mind people's allergies or diet restrictions. Then, on Monday, H texted me and sent a document of the budget. I was shocked, but still opened it, and I found a lot of the food there were things I cannot eat due to allergies. I asked her about it, and she answered that the majority agreed with those things and that I should get over it and that I can just eat the other things that are there. I thought about it and decided I wouldn't go, and here's where I was called the a-hole. I asked for my money back since I wasn't going to be attending. H and her friends are calling me petty because me backing out will do damage to their budget and so on. But I don't see the problem here, so Reddit, am I really being unreasonable? No, you are not. They said that they would keep in mind allergies and food intolerances and stuff when making said budget, and they would all make it together, but they made it without you. And they made it without you in mind. They used the majority of food that you cannot eat. And so that makes me question where your portion of the money is going, because you're not really going to be well fed. If they're not going to make sure that everyone is looked after during said get together, they need to be willing to give people the money back when they want to pull out. And you're not the a-hole for that. That's well within your right. They sound like really bad friends, to be honest. Okay, this next one is Heaven. Dem for It is titled, Am I the a-hole for asking for $200 because my parents spent $750 of my gift card? I, 17 female, received $750 worth of gift cards to this store. Sells groceries, clothes, etc. I was gifted this from a cancer charity after I was diagnosed at 16 last year. For context, I currently live with my parents and sister. A few weeks ago, my parents flew to another city to see my older siblings. Found out the day before they left that they were leaving and they didn't know how long they'd be. During this time, I looked after my sister as she's autistic. I spent around $200 of my own money on groceries as we were waiting for one of the vouchers, $200, to come in. It ended up getting delayed and only came once my parents were back. My dad ended up using the voucher for groceries. After this, I asked him if he could transfer me $200, as that's roughly what I spent on groceries when they were away. He said no, that I'm just trying to get money from him, even after my sister confirmed I did spend around $200 of my own money on groceries for her and I. He didn't believe her and said he will transfer $100 max unless I can show receipts. The issue is, like a week after they came back, I had to go up to a bigger city for treatment and my dad emptied my sister's backpack, which should have had the receipts. I guess I feel pretty disappointed as I'm trying really hard to save up for a car or motorbike or even electric bike to get around. I used to ride my normal bike to school or walk, but it's gotten pretty hard to do since I started chemo. Maybe am I the a-hole though, because I haven't paid for my own groceries or rent since I got sick. I don't eat much, only one meal every 2 days. I really want to get a part-time job to save, but I'm not medically cleared. I guess I was planning to possibly sell the vouchers or something, as I really do just want some transportation. Am I just being selfish? And wear the vouchers for my parents to spend because they provide groceries. I would love any outside perspectives, especially from parents, regardless if they're negative or positive. Thank you for reading. she pulls through and gets better. Second of all, the parents leaving for like a week without making sure there are groceries in the house, not making sure they have money to buy stuff, and leaving their sick daughter to look after their other daughter for a week with like no preparation, like they told her the night before they left. That is crazy neglectful and just bad parenting. Like that's terrible, genuinely terrible. And then like the dad not like refusing to spend the money to give her it back. Like he would only give her $100 back because he wouldn't believe her and her sister, and he took her voucher and spent it like without asking. That's also crazy. I don't know, like the fact that she has cancer and they seem to just not care about her or her sister at all. It's insane to me. Like, prioritize your kids that are young, at home and sick. The older ones are fine. They moved out. Visit them another time. Also, like, she said she hasn't paid since she got sick for rent or groceries. So that means if she was diagnosed when she was 16, that means she was paying when she was 15 and younger for rent and groceries. What the heck? Like, oh my god, parents, look after your children. Oh my god, they are not a burden on you. Like, you chose to have kids, you can look after them. That is so crazy that she had to pay for all that stuff at such a young age. I don't know, that makes me feel really, really angry and really upset. That poor girl. Okay, let's do this one. This is by weird underscore square underscore 4155. It's titled, Am I the a-hole for assuming a couple we met on holiday were swingers and abruptly cutting our conversation short and leaving? My girlfriend and I are on holiday on a resort town. She met a nice woman about the same age as her, late 20s, and they got talking. We were having dinner with them later and they invited us out. The husband was nice at first, but I found him really creepy. He kept commenting on my girlfriend, saying she was really pretty, saying he'd never dated an Asian. My girlfriend is Asian. And asking me what it was like dating an Asian girl. Like, how am I supposed to answer that? He kept complimenting her and asking me how I managed to get a girl like that. Meanwhile, his wife was also complimenting me. She called me handsome and good looking several times. At one point she was like, I hate going out without my husband because I always get hit on by strangers. But none of them are as handsome as you. She'd had a few wines at that point and was getting drunk, but still, there were other instances where she'd called me handsome. At another point she said, my type is guys with black hair. I have black hair. At one point it was too much. I got a hunch they were swingers I couldn't take. I faked a phone call and pretended we had to leave for an emergency. We left before the food had even arrived. I left money on the table and we left. My girlfriend was furious when she found out I made up the emergency. I told her these people were swingers and she thought I was crazy and we had a huge argument. Okay, so in my opinion, not the a-hole. It does kind of sound like they were swingers because, you know, all the flirting and stuff like that. And regardless of whether it's actually true or not, just that being the main topic of conversation is enough to make anyone feel really uncomfortable. So I don't blame you for getting out of that situation and leaving. I would also want to leave ASAP because, like, how do you even respond to stuff like that? There's only so many times you can deflect those comments and those, I guess, compliments. Like, I don't know, it's a bit weird. So yeah, in my opinion, not the a-hole. I wouldn't want to stay in that environment. Okay, the next one is by Financial Savings 5430, and it's titled, "Will I be the a-hole if I told my co-worker to get a grip on her sneeze?" I, 27 female, work in a greenhouse, and this girl, 23 female, started working there about a month and a half ago. She's not my cup of tea, but I stay cordial because we work together quite a bit. Now, in general, I am a pretty chill person, and not a whole lot bothers me. Live and let live, you know. Guys, when this girl sneezes, you would think she got shot by the way she screams. Think her dad sneezes loud. Think again. I could scream into a megaphone and it would barely rival how loud she sneezes. It scares the hell out of me and everybody else in the store. Like I said, we work in a greenhouse, so most of our customers are elderly people looking to buy seeds for their garden, and I've lost count of how many oh my and clutches to the chest I've heard and seen from little old ladies trying to pick which flower bulbs they think would look best in their flower beds. I swear she's gonna give one of them a heart attack one day. The thing is, I've seen her sneeze normal, so I know she's able to, and I feel like at her grown age, she should be able to tone down her sneezes a little. I've tried to pass a friendly comment here or there, such as, you might want to be careful with those sneezes, you might end up giving an old lady a heart attack. Oh, and she sneezes normal. Ah, now that's a better sneeze. I was hoping that she would get the hint, but she always laughs it off like, oh, that wasn't even a loud one for me. It's not cute or quirky, it's genuinely irritating, and to me and all my co-workers, and it has my heart beating out my chest because of how bad a jump scare it is. Will I be the a-hole if I actually confronted her the next time she pulls one of those sneezes? Obviously, I wouldn't be mean about it, but maybe a bit more direct in asking her to make a conscious effort to try and suppress her sneezes a little. Okay, that's a tough one. I guess you would have to suss out whether she's actually sneezing like that on purpose or not. Just because she has sneezed quietly doesn't mean she always, can. Just because you've heard her sneeze quietly doesn't mean that she has any control over it. Sometimes I will sneeze super quiet, other times it's quite loud. Sometimes it just happens, so I don't know. I think you'd have to suss it out a little bit more, whether she's doing it kind of for attention, or whether that's just her sneeze. Someone in the comments said that it only happens once or twice a day. So, I mean, it's not like it happens super often. The only thing I can think is maybe, directly ask her, is there any chance you can try and dial down the sneeze a little bit? Because it scares a lot of people, including customers. But iterate to her that if it's not something she can control, then it's no worry. Because if it is something she can't control, then that's not fair. I don't know, it's a tough one. I feel like you should definitely suss out the situation a lot more If it seems like she's doing it on purpose, say something. If it just seems like that's her sneeze most of the time, there's nothing you can do, especially if it's allergy based. Like you said, you work in a greenhouse, maybe she needs some antihistamines, maybe suggest that to her. I don't know, I feel like nobody's the a-hole, really. Like, gently, like, everyone in the comments is saying, like, gently, you're the a-hole. Like, not a lot, but, like, it's a bodily function, like, and I agree with that. Maybe try and ask her if she can, like, kind of sneeze into, like, her elbow or something like that. Try and muffle the sound if it really is causing a huge issue, but yeah, I don't know, that's a tough one. Let me know what you guys think about that one. Let's get the next one. This is by Concern Additional 467, and it's titled, Am I the a-hole for not doing the dishes fast enough? I, 20 male, recently got excommunicated by my roommates. 20 female Susan and 20 male Doug over not doing the dishes fast enough. I should clarify, we are all students going to the same college and living in the same student housing. We met freshman year and I moved in with them at the end of the first semester of sophomore year. They had a triple and the other person was a real piece of work. When I moved in with them, I was cautious about using their dishes and making sure I wasn't being invasive to their space. I asked what the rules were for the dishes, cleaning, all that basic shared living space stuff. We established that the dishes and ingredients are communal, but the food isn't. In the first few weeks of living together, I cooked meals for them both, took out the garbage whenever it was getting too full, and did anyone else's dishes if they were in the sink when I did mine. We established in the beginning that ingredients, silverware and dishware were communal, and even made a chore chart to keep track of who took out the trash last and whatnot. At the end of March, we had to figure out housing for next year and ended up scrambling to find a room. I ended up making a phone call and putting us together in a room for the fall when Doug texts that maybe it isn't so bad we are living together. When I later confronted him about this, it turned out that while I was securing our housing, at the same exact time he was talking with my other roommate about living together without me next semester. His reason for not wanting to live with me was that I wasn't doing my dishes fast enough, and it was stressing him out a lot seeing my dishes in the sink and that he hates when I use his plates. Something he never once told me. So suddenly I have to figure out housing for next fall, and Doug is speaking to me in 5-word sentences and avoiding looking at me. My other roommate initially reached out to tell me she still wanted to be friends and I was wonderful, but has adopted Doug's behaviour pretty quick. This happened at the end of March, so I scheduled a meeting with our RA to figure out how to keep living together since we still have all of April and the beginning of May. I wanted to smooth out whatever I could by being more diligent about dishes or the small gripes Doug had, but the entire time Doug glared at me. Only he showed up, and when I asked what I could do to keep the peace while we were still living together, he said not to speak to him or look at him. I don't understand where this is coming from. I talked with him frequently, so I feel like something as small as dishes could have been brought up easily. It just seems like a massive overreaction, but my other roommate is siding with him. I've asked around and it genuinely seems like he is solely upset about the dishes. Not some secret offence I don't know about. So Reddit, am I the a-hole for not doing the dishes fast enough when my roommate didn't even communicate that I was upsetting him? No, you're not the a-hole. To be completely honest, your roommate sounds like a brat and like he has a bigger issue with you. I don't know what that would be, but that cannot be just over the dishes. Oh my goodness. You were mature and took that as well as you could have. You went behind your back to try and secure housing without you, instead of being upfront about what the plans were for the future so that you could, plan accordingly. At the start when you moved in, they said the plates were communal. If he didn't want his stuff used, then he should have spoke up. And if he wanted you to do your dishes quicker, he had every opportunity to, request that, to speak to you about it and whatnot. As soon as it was brought up, you mentioned that you had tried your best to rectify past behaviour and to make him feel more comfortable by doing things quicker, and he still was super unhappy, so it seems like he just has a problem. I don't know why. He seems miserable and childish, and you're better off with better roommates. This next one is by Nocturnal, and it is titled, Am I the a-hole for going to a wedding my partner cannot make? My partner, 31 female, and I, 30 male, were invited to a destination wedding of a college friend. That's pretty far. It is not a best friend or family, but still a friend I care about, and a chunk of college friends I haven't seen in years would be there. Unfortunately, my partner can't get the time off work. I feel terrible, but was really looking forward to the ability to go. With FREEBIE approaching, my partner has told me I should go, but they are bummed they can't make it. She also said if the situation was flipped, she would not want to attend the wedding without me, which makes me conflicted about the whole situation. I feel guilty as this is also a destination they really want to go with me, and we have never been before. On the other hand, if I couldn't make a wedding, I would be sad, but wouldn't want her to miss valuable time with friends because of me. Am I the a-hole if I attend myself without her knowing all this? No, not the a-hole. This is your friend that the wedding is for, and it's going to be primarily, all your friends that are there. You are you're the actual one invited. It's definitely a bummer that she can't attend with you, but I don't think that's reason enough for you to stay back. I could understand if she was seriously ill or something like that, but she's not, and she even said herself, you can go. She is allowed to feel, left out and a bit upset, but she needs to make sure she regulates those emotions correctly and doesn't take them out in such a negative way. Because it's okay to be upset that you can't go, but she should definitely encourage you to go, because that is valuable time and a really good memory and occasion to go and spend with friends you haven't seen in a long time. So definitely not the a-hole, but just make sure you talk to her about it, say that you're planning on attending and stuff and that you're sorry she can't make it, but you guys can go to that destination on a holiday together some other time, in the future. just as mine turned green, which caused me to hit their car. I immediately pulled over to the side of the road to avoid blocking traffic and called the police. During that time, the other driver left the scene. When the police arrived, I gave them my statement. They told me they would try to identify the other driver using traffic cams, but couldn't make any promises. Since I had no contact or insurance info for the other party, I filed a claim with my own insurance to get my car fixed. The damages came out to about $2,500, and I also had to pay a deductible. A few days later, the police were able to identify the driver and shared my contact info with them. Almost immediately, I got texts and calls from the person asking me to not go through insurance because it would make their rates skyrocket. I was honestly shocked. They made no attempt to reach out before getting caught, and they had not been identified. I would have been left to deal with the full cost on my own. I told them I wasn't comfortable handling this outside of insurance. The accident, the damage, and the fact that they fled the scene all made me feel like this needs to be handled formally. I later found out from police report that they're in their early 20s. Maybe it was a mistake or panic, but it doesn't change what happened. Am I the a-hole for refusing to settle outside of insurance, even though it might hurt their insurance? No, definitely not the a-hole. They literally fled the scene. They had no intentions of handling it at all. Like they were hoping to get away with that 100%, and they don't have any right to ask or request anything really after, fleeing the scene. I also wouldn't feel comfortable handling it outside of insurance, even if they hadn't fled the scene and, they pulled over to exchange information and whatnot. You still can't get mad at someone for not feeling comfortable going without the insurance, because it's like a formal safety net. It's the way you're supposed to do it. It ensures, kind of not safety, but you get what I mean. Yeah, not the a-hole, definitely not. Okay, this next one is by Healthy-Guava9653, and it's titled, Am I the a-hole for wanting compensation after dog sitting a friend's anxious dog who caused damage to our home? My partner and I, both full-time professionals, agreed to dog sit our friend's 11-year-old dog for 10 days while they were on holiday. We were told the dog was well behaved, toilet trained, and had been left alone before without issues. We had met him a few times and he seemed like a sweet, calm dog. Before agreeing, we made sure to ask about his ability to be left alone during the day for up to 8 hours, and whether he'd be okay sleeping on his own at night. Our friend reassured us that he would be fine, so we agreed and even installed a rental safe pet door for him to use the backyard while we were at work. We were aware that caring for a pet comes with challenges, and we've looked after dogs before, so we thought we were prepared. The dog never toileted inside and was always sweet when around people. However, once the dog arrived, things turned out to be more difficult than expected. It became clear he had severe separation anxiety. He barked and howled whenever left alone, and our ring camera showed him pacing and scratching furiously at our white door whenever he heard any sound, almost every hour. The scratches are noticeable and permanent. He also couldn't settle at night, even with my partner sleeping on the couch next to him. He continued pacing and whining, and none of us were able to sleep well. It was heartbreaking to see him so distressed, and it was exhausting for us. After a few days of this, we reached our breaking point and asked our friend if they could find someone else to take over. To their credit, they did manage to find another sitter, so we only had him for 5 days instead of the full 10. Before the dog left, we mentioned the damage to the door, hoping for a solution or assistance. Our friend apologised, but only suggested we sand and paint over it. Since then, the dog has gone and our friend has returned from their trip. We haven't heard anything further from them. To be fair, I don't believe our friend intentionally misled us. Their dog is used to being around family members all the time and is rarely left alone. They probably don't have cameras at home to see how he behaves when left alone, so they may not have known how severe his separation anxiety was. It's also likely that being in an unfamiliar environment made the situation worse for him. I'm torn because I don't want to seem petty or ruin the friendship, but at the same time we weren't given the full picture and we're now left with damage to our home that could have been avoided with more transparency. So am I the a-hole for thinking it might be fair to ask for some kind of compensation? Not the a-hole. Even if the dog was well behaved the entire time, if the dog even accidentally causes damages to your home, I think you should be entitled to some compensation. If I ask someone to dog sit my dog at their home and she caused some kind of damage or broke something, I would immediately be offering to replace or pay for it to be fixed, etc. I would not expect them to pay out of pocket for something my dog did. They're already looking after my dog for me. That's very kind. Even if I do pay them for it, that's still very kind. And I would 100% be, paying for any damages. That's my dog. She's my responsibility. So no, not the a-hole. Also, it seems a little bit unbelievable that they didn't know the dog had any separation anxiety at all. They should have known. Even if they didn't know it was to that extent, they should have known a little bit, Okay, this is going to be the last story for tonight. It's by Newbie78 and it is titled, Am I the a-hole for requesting maintenance turn down the temperature in a factory environment from 23.3 to 24.4 degrees Celsius to 22.2 degrees Celsius when I am in support role in said factory. Been at the company 20 plus years, 3 months ago started helping a group that maintains the machines in the factory. Temp in the factory is consistently 74 to 76 degrees Fahrenheit, and I wore undershirt and polo and would be super uncomfortable. I wear athletic type shirts and I'm still very hot all day. And if you are the slightest bit tired, and it creates a miserable environment to work in. By the way, I am an average sized guy and not some huge overweight beast. I mentioned the temp to 2 of my co-workers who do the same work and they agreed it was super hot in the factory. The factory is staffed with union workers. Everyone seems pleasant, but there is a clear divide between us as non-union and the union workers. One factory worker is annoyed that I am now supporting the factory because he stepped in to troubleshoot equipment issues when our group was short-staffed. Now I am on board. I have taken the fun work away from him and he has to run product through the factory. In other words, he has to go back to doing the job he was hired for. I finally decided to put in a ticket to lower the temperature to 72 degrees Fahrenheit. I figured maybe everyone was annoyed about the warm temp, but nobody knew how to fix it. Within a day, the temperature was set to 72, and it just felt like normal indoor temperatures for once. I told my other co-worker, who I have worked side by side since I started in the group. He did not seem to care either way about the temperature, but certainly did not respond negatively. It seemed more like, hey, you had a problem and you fixed it kind of vibe. Well, he told this factory worker who was annoyed at me that I requested the temperature to be lowered when I was not around. Fast forward a week and I notice the temperatures are hot again. I hear this factory worker tell his co-worker something along the lines of, we spent years trying to raise the temperature in this place, only to have him change it. He clearly did this within earshot of me and knew I was there, so it was passive aggressive. I did not respond and acted like I did not hear him. One final point. The factory worker that finds me annoying wears gym shorts and a t-shirt all day, so he probably is more comfortable in a warmer environment. I am on the edge of being professional with my clothing, but also feel like I'm burning up as it is. So am I the a-hole? Kind of the a-hole. Kind of the a-hole, yes. I understand that you wanted the temperature change, but you are not the permanent factory worker. Those guys are like people are saying in the comments, those are the actual factory workers that work in the factory all day long. And so their comfortability should definitely be priority, in my opinion at least, and it seems like in the opinions of so they are like the permanent factory workers that work there like day and night, so their comfortability should be put first. Someone else in the comments said, you're the a-hole. If the temperature was negotiated by the union, it was for the health and comfort of the workers, and the building was wrong to change it in the first place. The purpose of the union is to represent the workers for their health, safety and rights, which is, yes, I agree. They had clearly negotiated between themselves, and that was the temperature they wanted, so I don't really think you had the right to change that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching.